So I have so many questions that I could ask you, but I think I want to go first. I think about your parents and like your mom going with you to the short-term mission trip, being like, this is going to be so fun for us and so impactful. And then you go back and then you stay and then you've done all these amazing things. Like, and obviously they've invested so much in your faith and your story and your heart and your calling and supported you. And I imagine that you do the same for your kids too. So tell me a little bit, like, for parents who are listening, like what encouragement would you give them for raising kids who are just like compassionate and on fire for Jesus and just have a heart and a calling that they're like, I don't know what to do with this kid's calling, you know?
Yeah. I love this question and I feel like I could talk about it for a long, long time. It's something I'm super passionate about, especially as I get older and look back at my upbringing and ask that question like, okay, what caused me to desire that? What was different?
Mhm.
My parents both, I mean, they're both believers. I was definitely raised in the church and they were very well connected to our church and served in our church and taught Sunday school and did service projects. And so I think growing up in a faith-based community was obviously hugely impactful. My parents also just really are very compassionate people. And it's funny because when I grew up with them, I don't think I would have said that. You know, it's mom and dad. It's just
Yeah.
regular. It's what you know. But
Yeah.
the older I get, the more I look at them and just see how abundantly and compassionate and kind they are to all people. And so, I mean, my mom will strike up a conversation with anybody. It doesn't matter where they're from. It doesn't matter what they look like. And I think I just watched that. And I think more than them telling me this is how you interact with the world, I watched my parents interact in a way that was very inclusive of others. So I grew up in a pretty affluent neighborhood. And yeah, I mean, I really never lacked for anything. And my parents were very keen to teach me that the whole world doesn't live this way. We traveled quite a bit when I was little, but we also were super engaged with different service opportunities in and around the Nashville area. My mom was always super active in serving, and she just brought me and my little brother along with that. And so I think a lot of what I would say, even to parents now, that I remind myself based on my own parents' example is like, it's so much more about how you live and what you do with your children and in front of your children than it is what you say, right? And so my
Yeah.
parents, yes, they talked to me about being kind and compassionate, but man, I think what really sunk in was their example. And I was not afraid to go to Uganda and I was not afraid to interact with people that were different than me or spoke a different language than me or lived a completely different life than me because my parents had really modeled that that was not a scary thing. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, they just, I feel like they treated people with a lot of equity no matter what. And they entered into, I mean, they both were very involved. My dad, he still drives the bus for a program at the church that he goes to where unhoused people can come and spend the night when it's cold. And he, every Saturday, super early in the morning, he goes and picks them up. And then super early on Sunday morning, he takes them back and he doesn't really talk about it. Like, he doesn't really say anything about it. He just does that. And so I think I learned like, that's how we live. And so I hope that I'm living in that way in front of my own children too, that they just see like, oh, mom just jumps in and serves people. Mom looks for opportunities to help others. Like when mom sees a need, she kind of jumps into it. And I think, yeah, I think they learned so much by example. Another thing that my parents did really well that I really hope I can do also is they were not